Heal the World, Michael Jackson. Although I went to bed early enough, going to bed does not always equate to going to sleep. It was too dark, wet, cold, and despondent to crawl out from under my blankets. Sleep was not welcoming me into her liminal scape. She was insistent I lie awake and face what I'd been putting off. It had been moving back and forth into my awareness, giving me time to turn things over in my brain, until the eve of your class, when I knew I'd have to come face to face with defeat. I had a speech prepared, nothing formal, a preaching to the choir kind of speech. I even asked you if it would be all right if I took a little time in class to say my piece, a needed action to return to holding my peace. Peace that arises from facing defeat and speaking to the choir, my comrades, my classmates. Sometimes we run out of time in class because you have so much to give. The last thing I wanted was to take time away from my peers who were there for you. We were all there for you, and you there for us. Symbiosis. To better inform myself for the possibility of saying my piece, I dug into the topic, music, and one particular component that was applicable to my work, copyrights. Even as I write the word, I feel my throat close, indicating a visceral response to how I feel about. I can't even finish the sentence. I feel the life drain out of my hands. It started innocently. I was gleefully playing in the sandbox you created. You like to remind me I am an integral anchor through each week. I am humbled by the acknowledgement of what feels like to me a small part I played in the inception and continuation of this writing class. We've been together for 3 years. You've patiently, gently, and kindly helped me curate my writing to a level beyond my imagination. There was no pressure, no stress, pure joy, the purest embodiment of learning experiences. In this play, music was an intrinsic part of my writing. At first I concealed it, alluded to it, kept it behind the scenes until it demanded to be seen. It popped out on its own. Since this was all fun, I let it out. Yet I wondered what was the process outside the sandbox, in the real world, to make the music visible. This creative world was alien to me. I came from the academia and science world. Inspiration and muses required visibility. Credibility of any serious work must be substantiated by others, the others who came before, the experts, the masters. It demonstrates a form of collaboration when published works are quoted, footnoted, and bibliographied. After all, no one person can stand alone in their accomplishments or creations. I am a believer of giving credit where credit is due, and sometimes, and it especially seems true outside the ivory towers and the experimental labs, that credit comes in the form of hard, cold cash, a hard, cold reality of this world. You didn't know then, in our sandbox, I was weaving thousands and thousands of words, story upon story, knitted tightly with song lyrics used as bridges between words, connectors within my world. I was headed directly to a cluster of tangled, confusing, well-trodden charnel ground of the ones who've tried and have gotten snagged, dragged, and thorned into the web of copyrights. I refused to believe it. You were devoted to finding a way. I pressed on, head down, in disbelief. I trusted my inner guidance system, and music was clear. It wanted to be woven into my writing. You sent an email, a warning accompanied with encouragement. I had named my creation. I was close to the finish line. I could see the light ahead. You knew your discoveries would be a major blow. The warning, the cost of using lyrics, the encouragement, do as the wise ones before had done, cleverly conceal it, avoid copyright webs, allude to elude. Consider the risk of the bold ones who knowingly or naively took the chance and discovered an invoice or a call from an attorney, from the owner or his representative demanding compensation for creation. You believed in me. I believed in the unseen. I believed in love, communicating to me through music. I couldn't make sense of this creative world, so different from the world I'd known. I wondered, what about cover bands? How could they make someone's music line to line, note to note? How can they replicate and outright imitate and not go to copyright jail? Every idea I came to was a dead end. Dread set in. I will spare you the details of my research because you were doing it too. You even asked the judge, my classmate, if he would be willing to do extra credit to shed light on this tangle. I asked myself, was the music in my writing that important? Was it just the knitting needles I used to weave the pieces together, or was it actually one of the threads? I pondered, and I felt myself sink deeper. It was a primary thread. Could I cleverly do as others have done before, mask it? Or was I bold enough to take this on? I could not. I would not. Love's message was clear. Music needed a presence. It was an essential element from behind the scenes. But I didn't need to die on the cross. On that eve, before the class, that you would present your findings, what I already knew that indicated I had miscarried for a third time, something I've been trying to birth for over 5 years. It was death without blood, a snuff out. I lay in bed, tears streaming down my cold face, but not crying inside, a weird ice leak, despondency. I slept on it, hoping the morning would bring new light. The morning brought dark, wet, and cold, and despondency. I emailed you. I had so few words left inside. I needed to dig deep because I owed you that. For all you've given me over the years, the fertility clinic of hope, the midwifery of delivery, I owed you my deepest gratitude, and I owed you an explanation for my disappearance. I couldn't face my classmates. I couldn't take a podium and say my piece. I just wanted to call in sick to my life, curl up in a ball, and disappear into the background of my world, of motherhood, of therapist, of friend and sister. I crawled out from under my blankets knowing there would be no rest, no peace, no welcome into the arms of sleep. I had to get to my clinic. I had a full caseload. Despondency needed to be put aside. Love was demanding my presence. I flipped the light on as I entered my bathroom, noticing the mirror fragment. A few days prior, I was stunned when I discovered this jagged, 3-inch slightly straight crescent piece of mirror hanging off the top of my 7-foot armoire. I had placed it on my sink vanity, hoping I would discover its story. I stared at the shattered mirror. Was this the story the mirror wanted to share? Was the loss of my writing, the miscarriage of my work, foreshadowed with this fragment, only a jagged piece left behind? Was now the time to throw it away? No answer. I tucked it into a basket on my counter where I keep my hair products. My cleaners were coming, and I was certain they would toss it. It was not ready to be trashed. Music has been my companion my entire life, my not-so-invisible buddy, through heartbreak, through road trips, through celebrations, through deaths, through births. I thought about something my daughter had shared with me over the weekend when we were curled up together on the couch, the same weekend I found the shattered mirror. "What's wrong, Mom? You seem distracted." We were watching one of our shows together, The Great Pottery Throwdown. "I'm upset about something I discovered about my writing. I can't use one of the threads woven into the work, the music." "Oh, that's what happened to TikTok." "What happened to TikTok?" "TikTok and Universal Music couldn't agree on the music. Now my posts are muted. No music. It's lame." Billboard magazine posted a story headline, "Artists impacted by this are just being more creative on TikTok about how they're getting music out." I was confused. The artists signed these contracts with Universal. Why were they playing games that were being called creative with the hand that fed them? Did these artists not realize what they signed? Artists like Taylor Swift and Post Malone sped up their songs or did various edits to their music to get around their contracts, to get visibility on social media, bypassing the algorithms that block their songs on TikTok. They seem to be standing up against the powers that be, not agreeing with how their creations were being carved up into shares within the system, forfeiting their portion for visibility. So now even artists were eluding their creations? What was happening? It would be easy to point the finger at the big guys, the corporations, the lawyers, the judges, the system, the industry, but all of the finger pointing is missing the point. We are the people, the big guys, the corporations, the lawyers, the systems, the industry. That's us. We are creating this. We all have a part in this. You may think the buck stops when the contract goes to court, but when it gets to court, there is a victim and there is a perpetrator, and may the best storyteller win. Another realm of storytelling where justice is not as blind as we want to believe. And when the windfall occurs in that courtroom, the drama's unfolding all around, entertaining so long as we are not cast in that story, the players end up in my office, and there truly are no winners. I am a behind-the-scenes person. I am the one the lawyers go to when they are burnt out from lawyering. I am the one the executives see, the artist, the addicts, the moms, the dads, the kids, the teachers, the medical professionals, and the ex-cons. They come to me when they are burnt out by we the people. Music is how love communicates to me, an integral part of the story, like blood to the heart. And love has something to say through me, through my writing, through music, and now a thread is being whited out. I will allude to love in my writing because that seems to be the point of why people end up in my office, love unseen, whited out, alluded to elude. All the blanks in my work where the lyrics want to appear are still there in white because love wants to be seen, even if that scene is in the space between.